Live from San Antonio, Mike Taylor.
Yes. It is Wednesday as we do this show. Thank you for watching it live. For those that are actually watching it live, that makes me love you very hard. And Wednesdays are a violent day. Not for real, but, you know, with our words. It is People I Want to Punch Wednesday here on Mike Taylor Live. Thank you, boys, that have become members in recent weeks and subscribed and have shared and discussed and listened to it on Spotify and all of the places. It is indeed People I Want to Punch Wednesday. Today, boys and their cars. We hype a really sweet raffle we got coming up Saturday. We do some Cowboys discussion, and we're going to boogie today for funsies because a lot of stuff went down. And, you know, maybe if there's still some time left over, mail it in and read some emails or something. But until then, it is People I Want to Punch Wednesday. So, who do I want to punch and why? Let's see. Well, so, you know, I'm going to haul off and punch. I'm going to get personal, which sucks. Well, it doesn't all. It's getting personal sucks when it's hard. Getting personal when it's fun is a fun thing to do because we all want to talk about ourselves. We all want to make it about us. It is indeed rule number one. Make it all about you. But today, I'm going to punch anybody who has decided to comment to my girlfriend about our decision to go forth without Puma on this show. Basically, anybody. Now, a couple of you have apologized. One dude says he didn't. I didn't realize it was that chain. Okay, I guess I believe you, dude. Fat Boy Nate had a lot of real dumbass things to say in a tweet that were like all of his points were about 90% inaccurate, short of truth, based on the little information that he's got. But when you're going to get personal with someone, you have to be very, very careful about not lying, even if you or making things up based on limited information. So my girlfriend, and it's the sweetest thing on the planet. My girlfriend lost her mom last year. Her mom has not even been gone a year. And she was tired and was coming off a 2.5-week-long epic journey with her son to Japan. Waiting at the airport, waiting to get on an airplane, barely slept, exhausted, just wanting to get back home, get on Texas time, and get over the jet lag. And she saw this family. She saw a mom and a dad and a young woman, their daughter clearly, and she saw how they were interacting with each other at the airport and how much they loved each other. And you can tell that they were a family, and it was great. And it touched her heart. And she had a moment where she was reminded of the love that she has for her mom. And my girlfriend tweeted, I hope that she tweeted the other day, I sat at the airport in front of a family of 3, mama, daddy, and daughter. Without warning, my heart sank, and this immediate, overwhelming feeling of sorrow overcame me. These moments, the unpredictable ones, are the hardest of all. Waves of grief never announce their presence. And it's true. Thank goodness they're not as frequent anymore. I lost my grandma in June of 1993. That's a long time ago. But even now, on occasion, I'll see a lady who looks like her in the street, or I'll read something that she loved. I'll hear it. You know what chokes me up? Freaking Neil Diamond. That woman loved, Sweet Caroline. Bum, bum, bum. I just hated it. And she listened to that guy met him on an airplane one time. It was the moment of her life, my grandmother, who, my mom, I've talked to y'all, but speaking of getting personal, my mom had me when she was 15 years old. That is outrageous. And so most of my adolescence was spent with my grandma. It was a hellish 8 years with Grandma Becky. Still love you. But the years I was with my grandmother, that's when I had the most stability in my life, even though it was very hard and we were poor and she was all by herself taking care of me and my sisters, my grandmother. Anyway, so I lost her in 1993, and to this day, On occasion, there's still moments where I have to catch myself, and that never goes away. But for Nina, for my girlfriend, it's not even been a year since she's lost her mama, and she had this moment at the airport and decided to tweet about it, and that's beautiful. But here's an example. I'm not going to read all of it, but here's an example of why I'm punching people that have decided to comment on that. At Restless Outlaw, whose name is Michael Martin, replying to my girlfriend's sad, beautiful tweet about her mom. This is what this fucking guy decides to reply with. To my girlfriend. Didn't even put my handle in there. Just replies to her and writes, yeah, poetic, being very assholey about it. Tell your boyfriend he's a piece of shit. Fired Sam, really? I'm sure Mike talked Sam into leaving iHeart to join him and build something, then just shit on him. All right. I'm going to address that right there, the notion of Puma leaving iHeart. But let me just say, if you, and I've been given advice today by her, to lead with my heart, not my ego. And I'm going to do the best I can. I'm trying to get my heart back in front of my ego right now. There's no good reason whatsoever. And maybe that's just who you are. Maybe you don't care about doing good, but there is no good reason to reply to my girlfriend at all. There's no reason for anybody to reach out to her with regards to what we're doing on this show. That's it. I don't even think I need to say a lot more than that, but I'm going to. But I think, and here's the cool part, and this is this is just, once again, and I've said this for years. It's always the smallest dogs that do the most barking. Big dogs only bark when necessary. Little dogs bark all the time. And I also, it's more like a meep, ming, 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 ming. There's nothing fucking more annoying than a little Pomeranian or a Pekingese that just barks all day, and by the end of the day, they're hoarse. They're all hoarse from barking. And I've said this also for years. We get caught in the middle of the people that bitch the loudest all the time. The vast majority of us save those kinds of emotions for when it matters. Look, I've been known to go off on many tangents over the years. I'm guilty as hell. But I don't want to be. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I've tried to evolve. I've tried to get better. Like 10 years ago, I'm on here today just fucking scorching earth and just revealing everything there is to reveal about everything that's gone on. But there's no reason to do that because I care about people involved in this scene, mostly Sam Freeze. And it sucks to be in that scenario. And this is also one of the results of pulling back the curtain on your show when you do a show like this and deciding to make it about you and share your life and talk about your kids and your wives and your girlfriends and your boss and your car. And it's necessary if you're going to have a show that's any good. Any asshole can watch a Cowboys game and give opinions. We can all do that. What sets shows apart are those of us that have, I don't know if it's called the guts or we have our egos or whatever it is. We decide to go ahead and put our lives out there for you guys to be a part of because we want you to be a family. For God's sake, I call all of you Thunderdome. And for you to reply to my girlfriend about me and Sam and then make up bullshit which is not true makes you a really bad person. Or maybe you had a really bad moment. I'm trying to lead with my heart, not my ego. Maybe you had a really bad moment, Mike. And I know that you liked the show. You liked how the show was, and I get that. And I listen to talk radio all the time. I have podcasts out the yin yang on my Spotify. So I'm a listener of these kinds of shows, and there's not a lot of good ones out there. And I hope that we're one of them. And I hope that we will continue to be one of them. And I've never, I'm whatever. But you put your heart out there. And when hard times come about, this is the result. Then you got to deal with it. I don't have to share my personal life. You know, I don't have to put things out there. I don't have to build a relationship with you. But the shows that I love as a listener and a viewer, the ones that I like, that's what they do. And so that's what I've decided to do, and it's what feels right. And it's what's kept for 15 years, our little AM radio station, our little AM radio show going. And it's what's kept this little fledgling YouTube empire we're building here. Empire. It's more like a shack right now, but it's cool. We have a shack. I have a shit where there's a roof on this shack. But you have to put yourself out there, and you have to be personal. And what sucks about that is that 1% of the time when things don't go right, or you make a decision, or somebody leaves, or somebody gets hurt, or it's out there for the public consumption, and that's part of the deal when you do these. I don't have to do a show. I could go work as a barista. I could go work at Target. I could go use my degree for once and be a teacher or something. But if you're going to do shows like this, you got to put your heart out there if you're going to have success, or at least be a show that means anything. And I understand that a lot of people are pissed about this week's decision. I understand that. Mostly Sam, and that sucks. But just don't reply to my girlfriend. You know, it's bad enough that anyone, and this guy Michael's not the only one. That's the one I happen to pull today. It's a really shitty thing for him to write to her. It's one thing to reply to people's family, but it's another thing to reply to people's family that have nothing to do with this. I didn't run this by Nina. She didn't tell me to do this. She has nothing to do with this decision. So why on earth would you reply to her? Even though you're angry that it happened, there's no reason to reply to her. And there's damn sure no reason to reply to a tweet in which she just tweeted about her deceased mother. I hope that that's not who you are all the time. I hope that you had a bad moment. That's me leading with my heart. So punch anybody. I'm not punching anybody that disagrees with the decision. That's a fair debate. I am punching people that have decided to reply to her, because that's bullshit. That's it. All right, who you punching today and why, Lawrence? Do you have anybody?
Man, I don't know how I can follow that, but
I need you to, so we can move on.
I want to punch the trash pickup on Monday for skipping my trash can.
Yeah. We're calling out Waste Management again.
Yeah, we're calling out WM.
Dang it! There's some fine lads over there. A lot of Thunderdomers.
I believe
we pissed off enough
yeah.
Thunderdomers this week. Let's not piss off anymore. But what happened?
They just skipped my pickup. I put my trash out at 6 a.m.
Did they get everybody else?
Oh yeah, they got everybody else.
Maybe they found out about Puma. Fuck Lawrence for not picking up his trash.
So punch. I guess is it Saul's or CPS? I don't know. Punch one of them.
Wait. Someone else runs Who runs Waste Management?
It's not Waste Management. It's like Saul's or CPS. I think it's Saul's. Saul's?
They run the garbage trucks.
Or CPS maybe. I know those are the only two bills I pay.
Okay. All right. I needed you to punch somebody, because I also want to address. Now it sucks that I even had to address my girlfriend's tweet, but I did. I decided I just wanted to. I could have left it alone, but no. Sometimes you, as the great Neil Young sang one time, sometimes there comes a time, and I didn't mean to. I want to address this other thing too, and we'll get on with it too. I mean, this is gonna come up from time to time. It's a fresh cut. And I accept that. But at some point it's got to dissipate, and it will, for everybody involved. The other thing I want to address is this: we can debate. You can jump on my ass all you want. And by the way, and that guy Michael Martin, tweet to me. You know my Twitter handle, and you others that have replied to other people. You know me. I'm right here. My at Mike Taylor Show is my Twitter handle. I have a Facebook page. I have an Instagram page. It's also at Mike Taylor Show. You want to chew me out for the decision? Go for it. That's great. It's chicken shit to reply to my woman. That's awful. Anyway, so now I want to address this notion that I persuaded Puma to leave iHeartRadio. I've been thinking about leaving iHeartRadio for about 5 years. For about 150 reasons. One of the reasons why I decided to move back home from Hawaii, 2021, I made my mind up mid-21 I was going to get home. It was just a matter of when, because it's a long-ass process to move from that island. But there were many reasons. Number one, I needed to be home. I needed to come home where things made sense. I needed to be near my other kids and my all of my family, 99% of my friends. But one of the decisions I needed to come home was because I've been thinking about leaving iHeart for a long, long time. Before I ever even met Sam, there were innumerable reasons why I wound up leaving there. Some were just about me and where I needed to go in my career and who I was, where I was at the time. Some were about iHeart. But some were about me. You know, I wanted to do something different. I needed a new challenge. So I didn't make that decision lightly, is the point. I did not all of a sudden just later on a whim. I didn't do that. That was calculated. There was a process, you know, and I wanted to get home and get boots back on the ground in Texas so I can be at iHeart's building every day and just see, okay, some things are going on that I cannot monitor or give a realistic, honest assessment to unless I'm actually here every day and going into the room. That's one of the reasons I came home. And if I was going to go ahead and leave iHeart, I needed to be here. I couldn't be stuck in fucking Hawaii with no job. I needed to be here where I had resources and people and friends and family and loved ones. And that's the point. I was going to leave iHeart a long time ago. It was a long process. And I couldn't take it lightly because I've got kids to take care of. You know, I've got bills and mortgages and car payments and light bills and shit. So I walked away from a job that paid me a salary. The last thing that I was ever going to do, which let me stop right there. If I did tell Sam, fuck them, leave iHeart, go with me, they could sue me for that. iHeart Media Inc., it was in my contract. And by the way, I had 3 different attorneys read my contract in the last several months. One of the things in there was you cannot take talent with you. They could sue my ass off, and I would lose in court if they had any proof. So I wanted to put that to bed. We can debate whether or not the decision to go on without Puma was accurate or the right thing to do, and maybe it turns out to ultimately to be the wrong thing to do. Maybe that's what happens when you take chances and you do things and you follow your heart. But I did not entice him to leave that company. And I'm not saying that because I want to protect my ass from getting sued. I can say that because I know I'm not going to get sued because I did not ask him to leave. And by the way, to suggest that I made him leave or enticed him it's insulting to Puma. He's a grown-ass man. He does what he wants. I did not make him leave. And here's the other thing. We just been doing this. I just quit iHeart less than 2 months ago. Do you really think I'm going to persuade this dude to come over with me, you know, steal him from iHeart, and then 5 weeks later make a change? Why the hell would I would have never brought him to begin with, because I didn't make this change on a whim. So that's it. I wanted to address that, and I know it's weird now and all weird. Anybody else want to punch? Your neighbors all know who we are, by the way. Just letting you know, every time I leave now, I get waved at. It's pretty funny. All right, let's do our fucking show. This show is also brought to you by many people, including San Antonio City Soccer Club. And we're begging people to step up and put their name on one of these doggone fields we have. You are going to get field naming rights, entrance signage, field banners with your company on there, or whatever you want. Companies like Sunburst Gymnastics, who have become one of the sponsors of one of the fields. And my boy Nate over at Sunburst Gymnastics was so cool in deciding he wanted to call the field Thunderdome. He told him, I'm not going to sponsor a pitch unless we put Thunderdome on the field. And that'll touch my heart forever. So it's Thunderdome Field presented by Sunburst Gymnastics. We also have another sponsor who has stepped up to sponsor one of the fields, the Methodist Health System here in town. They want to call their field Champions. I love that. It doesn't have to be Thunderdome related. They're now Champions Field presented by Methodist Healthcare. If you want to put your name on one of these fields, this is the most preeminent, most populated, most participated in soccer club in the city. We talking thousands of soccer mamas, seeing your sign, seeing your company all over those pitches up there. If you want to jump on board and become one of the supporters of our soccer club, I invite you to do so. Jump into my DMs. Email me at miketaylorshow@gmail.com. All right? All right. What else today? We have a big raffle. Where's my shirt? That's another reason why we got to move on. I got important things to do, man. I've got this jersey here. Hang on, Lawrence. I should have had this off the hanger. My bad, dude. Lawrence is like, what the fuck are you doing to me? You're killing me. My bad, dude. This show's discombobulated anyway, so it's fine.
Meh.
Yeah, we're fine. Okay.
It's a different format. We can take our time.
I want to give a shout out to, and he's going to get mad at me for mentioning his name because he doesn't want me to. I know, because I know him. Dale Storbeck, the official former semi-golf pro of Thunderdome. My boy Dale bought this last year. Remember did you go to Thunderdome night last year at the Wolf? I don't think you made it.
Yeah, I was there, but I ended up leaving before the game was over, and I missed the walk-off home run.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
that's what happens when I leave games early.
I know,
yeah.
Well, Well, they have the stadium downtown where you'll wind up staying for the whole game because you don't have to drive 40 miles to get home. So last year, Thunderdome night at Wolf Stadium coincided with Uvalde night. And so the Missions all wore Uvalde High School jerseys for all the obvious reasons. And they had an auction that night, and they auctioned off a whole bunch of things, including these jerseys. So all the guys wore Uvalde High jerseys that night. 27. Oh God, I gotta remember how to pronounce the dude's name. Oh God, panic. Oh God, panic. He's from Venezuela. This player here. Oh, thank you. Jairo Iriarte.
What is that?
Jairo. Jairo Iriarte. Iriarte. That ain't Mexican. That's Venezuelan. Jairo Iriarte. He's a pitcher for the Missions. This is his jersey. Pretty cool. It's got the Missions logo. Uvalde. I mean, I was so honored that they would have our Thunderdome night and let it kind of be part of that night. Although we did get more people there in the ballpark, didn't we? So we helped. And a result of us having Thunderdome night there last year was our boy Dale wound up winning this jersey in an auction. He won the right to pay for it. So the reason I bring this up is because on Saturday at the Ringer Pub on Jones Maltzberger and Thousand Oaks, starting at 2 o'clock, I'm going to MC the Guardian Community Fundraiser that helps those who have served, military veterans, currently enlisted, formerly enlisted, retirees, first responders, cops and fire, and all in the middle. We're having a really great raffle to benefit these guys. This group, we had one of the women that represents the organization on the show yesterday, Shannon May. And it was a great interview. She was so candid about her dad and why she decided to join Guardian Community. They reach out to people, and she was honest, mostly guys like so many of you listeners and viewers, members of Thunderdome that watch our shows, that are having a hard time, that have come home and are having a hard time acclimating. Whether it's just for practical purposes or mental purposes or physical purposes, they are an organization that helps people with just struggling, and not just military, but cops and fire and first responders. So we're having a huge raffle this Saturday at the Ringer Pub. I'm telling everybody to get there around 2 just to give us all kind of a window for people to show up, because the raffle part, I'm going to wait till 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, I'm going to start emceeing the raffle. We have a lot of cool stuff to give away, including this San Antonio Missions Uvalde jersey that we're going to put as part of the raffle. Now, what I'm asking for anybody to be eligible to win this jersey, I'm asking you to sign up and become a member of Mike Taylor Live on YouTube. It's only $6 a month. Sign up for a month, win the jersey, dump us next month. I don't care. I just want to help these people here.
Hey, don't encourage.
Don't. I'm just saying it's fine. We have some other things too that are going to be members only, by the way. And we also have an autographed David Robinson jersey. The Admiral. We're going to have a jersey.
No one told me.
Oh yeah, I found that out last night. The official airline ticket provider of Thunderdome, Mike, who doesn't want me to say his last name, that's another reason and this has been helpful this week. It's been a hard week, and it's been helpful to have guys like Mike, guys like Dale, who wanted to just help this. These guys don't care about attention. They don't want me to say their names. I always do anyway, and they get mad. Thank you to Mike. You know who you are, for donating the David Robinson jersey. Thank you to Dale for donating this Uvalde jersey. We're asking you to be a member of this show. So if we pull your ticket on Saturday when we decide to give away this jersey or the David Robinson jersey, you have to show and prove your membership. Also, you have to be a member to win several of the Whataburger logo Wembanyama T-shirts that I had. I wore that Monday, I believe, or yesterday. Well, I lose track of the days. We also have a really badass Victor Wembanyama wood carving. Ty Jones, the official woodcutter of Thunderdome, probably the best thing he's ever done, and that's saying something. He carved a beautiful Victor Wembanyama cutting, and he's donating it to the Raffle, which he could have gotten tons of money for. It's so good in an art museum or an art store. He's an Army veteran, and he donated it, so we're going to give those things away. And a bunch of Visa gift cards and gift cards to bars and tattoo shops and rounds of golf. So that's this Saturday at the Ringer. Come out there, hang out with us, drink a beer, and jump into our raffle. All right. What next? Boys and their cars. So yesterday, I'm on the streets of San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio. And every once in a while, I'll pass a car or a truck or a van that I just get the giggles. And I decided, this is one of those moments where I decided to roll video on this. I had somebody in the car with me, so don't act like I don't want to get a ticket from SAPD, who helped me roll and take screenshots and stuff. So we're driving yesterday, and well, I'm just going to show you. All right, there's douchebags, and then there's mega douches. I'm trying to catch this dude right here. Look at this fool right here. Look at this fool with he's got like a damn airplane wing on the back of his car. Look at this fool right here. What the hell? Let's roll the window down. Hear the noise. It's all loud. Look at this fool. What a dumbass. He thinks he's the shit too with that. This dude right here, this guy thinks he's the bomb. I get all the bitches with this car. What a dumbass. Punch this fool. Golly. I had to go like 70 on a regular road to catch that dude. He was just hauling balls. And that car got in front of him and he got pissed off. And I had to get back to driving, but he's like, vroom, just blew past her. But I caught him at the light, was able to get a couple of photos. Do I have these or do you have these? Okay, here we got some. So we got some pictures of this dude's car. Now, okay, the one on the bottom clearly is taken at nighttime because I looked up the dude's Instagram because he has his Instagram handle on the spoiler or whatever the hell you call that airplane wing. Okay, look, I get that kids like to put spoilers and shit on their cars. Look at the size of that thing. I don't think that was made for that car.
I mean, yeah, he's cutting down on the drag there.
Is that what he's doing?
That's what it's doing. Yeah.
It's like one of those fucking off-road racing cars. I'm not even sure that's street legal, this thing. He's turned a regular car into this damn like World of Outlaws car.
Well, it's got to be street legal because on that top picture there's a Turo license plate holder, so you can actually rent this car.
Okay. So I guess that's what he's pimping out. See, he has got his Instagram handle on the back. And so we looked this dude up last night. He's he's some young dude. And most of his posts are pictures of his car. Look at that blue light shining on the nighttime one. Like my boy, it says, "Do it for the kids" on the back windshield, which obviously we support that.
Of
doing
course,
it for the kids.
For the kids.
But then, what you can't see on that picture I took, but you can see on the one on the bottom, on the side of that big ass thing, it says 69. He's got for the kids and then 69. Hey, there's room in this world for both. 69 is fun, and let's all do it for the kids. Just don't 69 the kids. We don't want to get those mixed up. Keep those compartmentalized and apart from each other in this room for both. So I looked up his Instagram handle because I asked him how much.
Of course you did. Of course.
I wanted to see how much he would charge to rent this car. So I start making fun of him, and then I got to thinking, this would be a great show bit. I want to know how much he wants to rent this damn car. Imagine showing up to the Ringer on Saturday on this fucking thing. So I messaged him, and he replied quickly, it's not for rent. I don't rent it out.
Oh.
I don't get it.
Well, that sucks.
So maybe he works for a Toro. So Toro's the company that you can rent really cool cars on.
Yeah.
But this one itself is not for rent. Yet he's pimping this business. I guess you can rent other cars, but not this particular one. He's just using this particular car to get love for the company. And maybe this is clearly I'm getting old, but dude, do you have a dream car? Like a dream hot rod? Because this kid, he thinks his kid thinks he is the shit. And maybe he is.
I wouldn't mind like a 6'4" Impala.
I love old school cars. Yeah, old school. But are you going to trick it all up? I sound like Clint Eastwood
I'd want it 100% factory.
One of those damn spoilers in the back.
No, I'm not going to put Daytons and spinners on it.
Okay,
and hydraulics.
The way it came out of the box. Yeah,
I want factory. I want like the factory rims. Like the Chevy rims.
Yes,
and the factory interior.
Yes. All right, this show also brought to you by Live Oak Vodka. They have brought us the 69 Do It for the Kids card 2022 Ultimate Spirits Championship Challenge of 2022. They got a 91, and few drinks wind up getting a score into the 90s to get entered into this contest, and those boys at Live Oak got a 91 based in Beeville, Texas. It is the official vodka, Live Oak Vodka. I guess I got to thinking, I felt bad as the kid that drives that car. He's a young dude, and I'm like, okay, I call him a douche and a dumbass. I mean, you kind of have it common. You want the attention, you got it. But he was speeding. Drive what you want, young man. Just don't drive 70 on an access road like that. That was not safe. And those of us out here not rolling in a pimp car like you or going regular speeds, there's no need to do 70 on the side road. I don't want to see your beautiful car get totaled and you wind up just turning into a puddle of putrid death juice on the street. So please drive responsibly in that sweet little car. You wouldn't want to hurt the thing. All right, it's Mike Taylor Live. Subscribe to us. Become a member to us. We love you hard. Reply. Comment on everything we talk about. Good and bad. I can handle it. Just keep it to me. Steven's in here. Punch my blanket neighbor. Our internet went out, and the main panel for our whole street is in his backyard.
What the fuck is the internet?
He won't answer his door, and his gate is locked. No access to his backyard, no internet for 3 days now. First of all, Steven, don't go into his property. I wouldn't want you to get shot over Netflix. 3 days? You might want to call a sheriff's department and have a freaking safety check on the dude. That ain't too cool.
Dale's in here with an update on that car. He says he's got a scoop on the rear end of his car, but the car is front-wheel drive.
Okay.
Punch him.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So it's not a legit badass?
Apparently it does nothing to have that back there if you have a front-wheel drive car. So it's just for looks.
Right. All right. Tex-Mex Frank. Punch people who bitch and are unable to have a respectful conversation. Quit complaining. If something does not go your way, move on or move away. Thank you, Frank. Robert's in here. Want to punch the makers of YouTube. It doesn't save my spot on the show when I want to go back to it later. I have to forward to where I was in the show. Pincha YouTube. Is that operator error? I don't know. I'm still getting used to this YouTube.
Yeah, no clue. No clue on that at all.
Well, you watch YouTube videos all the time, though. Don't you stop midway sometimes and take a dump or get a drink and go back to it?
I'm pretty sure mine remembers the spot I was at, for sure.
I'm pretty sure mine does too, dude. You might want to...
Maybe he's not like signed in or something.
Or maybe he's like me and he's just technologically challenged like an idiot.
Oh, while we're on this, but the guy who is having trouble with the Buy Me a Coffee membership, I don't know what's going on there because other people were able to do it that same day. So
what was his trouble?
It wouldn't let him do it. It kept giving him errors when he tried to sign up. So
try again, Holmes. Refresh.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, you can always join the YouTube membership. It's the same price.
Right. Reboot, Holmes. All right, Leland's in here. Punch New York Democrat Congressman Dale Goldman for covering for lying President Joe Biden. According to Goldman, there were 20-plus conversations face-to-face and over phone between Hunter Biden, his dad, and Hunter's business associate, Devin Archer, with some conversations lasting over 20 minutes. Goldman claims that they never discussed business, and only exchanged pleasantries. That's a long time saying hello. Thank you, Leland. Gino, punch Justin Verlander. Sports hate with him goes back to the Tigers. Double sports hate with the Astros. Triple hate with his second tour now in Houston. Ah, yes. That leads me to this. It is 10:35 on the Mike Taylor Live Show.
Come on, let's rock tonight. We're going right out of the night. Come on, baby, let's boogie tonight. The baseball.
Ah, yes. It is time to boogie. All right. The baseball season is starting to... I'm proud of myself. Normally the way I do baseball is I get all in for the first week of April when it starts. And then about 3 days later, I'm back out again because, baseball. I love the game. Major League Baseball, I've lost track of over the years. Not having a team, it being crickets whenever I would bring it up on the old radio show. Then I'd get back in around the All-Star break because I'd get hyped, the All-Star game, home run derby, and all that shit. And it was an opportunity to see who's doing well and see how many guys that make the All-Star team that I can actually name. And I've gotten better especially this year. And I'm happy with the new rules changes. We banned the shift, thank God. They've made changes with the bases and this kind of thing, and it looks more like the baseball that I grew up watching. That means more. That's the best baseball, So I've been more in this year, and I've stayed in. This is now like the turn of August is then. That's when most people that are like a drive-by baseball fans like me, I'm a baseball fan, but I'm talking about a Major League Baseball fan, the league. This is the time of year where now let's check these pennant races. And then, of course, they expanded the playoffs, and so I was like, well, it's not as exciting because half the league still has a chance to make the postseason, which is fine. But I'm pretty jazzed. We just had the trade deadline. And there were a big, huge number of trades, of course, and the Houston Astros, after making the decision to lowball Justin Verlander, or not even really pursue him last year, they were resigned to lose him because they thought they were going to have Lance McCullers back. They thought they were going to have, Luis Garcia. They thought they were going to have him back. And both are out for the year. They've had massive injuries. Verlander didn't leave on shitty terms. It was just about money, and he's 39 years old. So they make the decision to not pursue him as hotly as the New York Mets, who've decided that money is just not a real thing. The New York Mets, and I love to see this, by the way. I'm a big market guy. I'm fine with big spending. You have to spend to win. But it's funny when these teams like Chelsea Soccer and people like that spend gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of money only to fuck it up. It's kind of funny. The Mets have completely shit the bed as an organization with all the money they have spent. And so they're just fire sailing everybody. And both of the Texas teams have benefited from said fire sale, with the Astros trading their top prospect in the minor leagues, an outfielder, for Justin Verlander. So Verlander is back to join Framber Valdez, who threw a no-hitter last night against Cleveland. About Framber Valdez. That dude threw a no-no last night against the Cleveland Guardians, and the Astros are feeling pretty good about themselves. Jose Altuve is getting back into a groove, at least just being on the field every day after missing 2 different stints in the first half of the season. Yordan Alvarez, the DH first baseman, mostly DH, is starting to finally find his legs underneath him a little bit physically. And the Astros are ready to stay in contention with Texas, who have been ridiculously good all year, who, by the way, also benefited from the Mets fire sale, as the Rangers have traded for future Hall of Famer Max Scherzer, who did not want to be traded. Matter of fact, had a no-trade clause. But when he was told by the owner of the Mets himself on a phone conversation, we're mailing it in. And 2024, we are full-blown tank mode. And you can stay if you want, dude, but we are going to fucking tank in 2024. Steve Cohen is the owner of the Mets. Scherzer's like, okay, cool, go ahead and waive my no-trade clause. And so the Rangers pounced, and so Max Scherzer is a Ranger. Justin Verlander is an Astro again. I'm excited. I'm hyped to see the two-man race between Houston and Texas in the division. They're both going to make the playoffs, but it will be cool to watch it go down to the last wire and see who ultimately winds up winning the division. All right, Baseball Boogie brought to you by RNR Auto Glass. Get yourself the Taylor Especial. Who doesn't like a hookup? And if you have glass issues in your vehicle, if it's busted out and you need somebody to go to, you need somebody. That's somebody, R&R Auto Glass right there by the airport at 281 in Tacoma. It is R&R Auto Glass. All right, how about some Cowboy talk?
I want me some glory hole.
We got training camp discussion going on. A couple of things, not a whole lot of things on Cowboys. I'm not one of these guys that gets all wrapped up in the day-to-day of, dudes are running around and fucking chonies out there. And, Brandon Cooks is looking sensational. I should hope. He's a world-class wide receiver out there playing in shorts. Although they have been in pads a couple of times this week, you can't judge much, and y'all know that. But it's still, there's dudes running around in their underwear, but they got a helmet on their head, and there's a blue star on it, so y'all are going to dig it. What I normally take from training camp is the off-the-field stuff. And yesterday morning, Jerry goes on the Fan radio station in Dallas and basically said, yeah, I think I might bring Zeke Elliott back. Okay, there it is. He didn't say it like that, but he basically said, oh, yeah, that's a fair question. Because they asked him, Jerry, what about Zeke? Ronald Jones just got suspended. Tony Pollard's coming off an injury. Zeke hasn't found a home yet. He just did a workout at New England. What do you think? And Jerry's like, that's a fair question. I've thought about that. And Jerry mentioned all these issues he's having at running back, which he's not really having a ton. I've said this ever since they cut Zeke. I thought it was silly that every newspaper that covers the Cowboys back when they cut him this spring was doing all these farewells to Zeke and going through his timeline and his history. And I understand why they did, because there's no guarantee he was going to be back. But I would have bet half a paycheck going back to the day they cut him that he was going to wind up playing for Dallas. And that is proven out as we speak, unless the Patriots decide to roll with him. I don't think he wants to go to the Patriots. I don't think there's any bad blood at all between the Cowboys and Zeke. It was a business decision, and I think Zeke Elliott understands that. I think one of the two reasons why Zeke Elliott's not been able to sign with anybody. Reason number one is he's old, and he's not the guy he was. He has value, for sure. The second reason why Zeke Elliott's not signed with anybody is because I think he's holding out to get back home to the Cowboys. And I think that when they do this, probably next week or something like that, I think it's 80-20 at this point, Zeke's back. When they bring him back, they're going to have a press conference and watch. Jerry's going to cry because we love Zeke. That's my son from another. But I didn't pay his mama because he ain't really my son biologically. I just love him. You watch. They're going to have emotions and they're going to hug it. They're going to hug it out, and he's going to go back to the Cowboys and have the same role he had last year, just a little bit less because Tony Pollard is the guy. Speaking of Ronald Jones, punch Roger Goodell. And I know it's not him. He's the commissioner, so he gets blamed for shit. It's the competition committee. It's the rules committee that Jerry Jones has been the chairman of many times. So the Cowboys have had Ronald Jones, the veteran running back they brought in, as kind of a quasi-Zeke replacement, that role. He's gotten himself suspended for the first two games of the season, and I threw him under the bus yesterday. And I want to come out today and say that, you know what? I was too hard on Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones did not get popped for anabolic steroids. Ronald Jones did not get suspended because he was on the horse tranquilizer. He has a heart condition, right? And he has been prescribed by a doctor heart medication. I'm not sure what he has. I'm not sure if it's an arrhythmia. I'm not sure what it is, but he's got some sort of heart condition. Obviously, he can still play in the NFL, so it's not going to kill him. I mean, go ahead and knock on the table just to make sure that didn't come back to haunt me saying that. He's fine. But he needs his medication. So he was taking his heart meds. And it turns out that there is an ingredient in the heart medication that Ronald Jones was taking that is outlawed by the NFL. And it's made the NFL look stupid. I get many of the drugs that the NFL has banned, but banning things that must be in heart medication for a guy with a heart condition is horseshit.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get my knife.
I mean, come on. I feel bad for Ronald Jones. Just get through the 2-game suspension, get back out there and try to get back to the team as best that you can. God almighty. All right, show also brought to you by Elite Collision of Bernie. north of the rim off of I-10. They're locally owned and operated by Poodle San Antonio people. If you get into an auto accident, go to the longtime Thunderdomers up at Elite Collision, just a couple of minutes past the rim, right off of I-10, exit 542 in Bernie. Family owned and operated. They do weekly appointments are available. If you call them and it's busy, call me. I'll call them and get you an appointment myself. That's a guarantee. They work with all insurances. They're very good at what they do. Me and Lawrence went up there and toured the facility last week, and they were busy. They were real busy, and because they're kick-ass at what they do. But I will help you get an appointment. I swear to God, that's a bit. I'm not doing a bit. It's a bit, but it's a legit bit based in the truth. Hit me up, and I will help you with I'll call Elite Collision on your behalf. Hey, Mike Taylor here, damn it. You know, Pete needs it. Pete has an appointment. Can I make one? And I'll just make sure that they get you in. They will. They're Poodle Thunderdome. Just mention me, and you'll get yourself in quickly. You've got a collision issue. Go there. Fender benders, whatever, hail damage. And maybe you've got some body damage that has resulted in you needing a paint job. They do that too. It is Elite Collision of Bernie. When your car gets beat, call Elite. It's EliteCollisionofBernie.com. EliteCollisionofBernie.com. All right. Edgar's in here. You want people to address you privately about Sam, yet you made yourself a public figure, so this is fair game. Punch you, dude. You can phrase it and spin it how you want, but it was a shit coward move. First of all, Edgar, you don't know fucking shit about what happened here. You only know what I've given you. You know? As far as I know, I don't think Puma's commented other than to say some shitty stuff on our chat site, which you deleted, and I appreciate that. So fuck you, Edgar. Punch yourself, dude. Again, this is an example of, sure, yes, it's fair game. Yeah, it's a public show. But you don't get to make up bullshit. And oh, by the way, jump in and ask me. You know, we can talk about it. You know, and I'm addressing it publicly. But what I'm not gonna do is be unprofessional, and I'm not gonna like destroy people. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna make it way worse than it already is, because it's not professional. You know, me and Lawrence, we may have a little small man thing going here, but it's a professional operation. This is a legitimate thing. This is our fucking job in here. And I'm not going to act like a jackass for your sake. I don't owe you shit, Edgar. I told you what happened. And for you just to assume that a shit coward move is the toughest fucking thing I've ever had to do last week when I made that call in this business. Not in my life, but in this business. So kiss my ass, Edgar. And by the way, Edgar, you know what? So Lawrence is like, oh, shit. Lead with your heart. Lead with your heart. Lead with your heart. And I'm saying this from the heart. Stop following our show then. Drop your subscription. Don't watch it. Tune out. You know how many podcasts there are just in America? About 5 million. You know how many podcasts there are in this city? A lot. Go listen to Carolina Teague. I like Carolina. She works her ass off. Go watch Mike Jimenez. He works his ass off. There's several others in town. Sweep the League. Watch Rudy Campos and those guys. They're good dudes. Watch them. Fuck off, Edgar. If you don't like it, you don't like what we're doing, you ain't got to watch. Ain't nobody making nobody watch. That's the beautiful thing about it. It's a free fucking country. Right here in my pocket, I have a little computer. It has access to every podcast in the world. Just about every radio station in the world, if you know the right places to go. Every public FCC-owned and operated radio station, terrestrial radio stations, is in your little computer in your pocket. If you're too dumbass to find a better one than mine, then I can't help you. If you're that mad, if I'm a coward, why on earth would you watch? Drop your subscription, drop your membership, and fuck off. I don't need you. And I would rather have less audience than have people that talk like that, just talking out their ass. Where do people get the balls with just no information? It's cool to criticize the move. If the show's not nearly as good, that's great. We can debate that. And hell, maybe you're right. Maybe it winds up being a stupid thing to do. Maybe it does. But to take personal shots, reply to my girlfriend, call people cowards, that's Bush League bullshit. You know my Twitter handle. DM me. That's it. All right. What else today? I saw where it's now pretty much it's a done deal. The AT&T Center is going to turn into the Frost Bank Center. You down with Frost Bank Center? I think that makes a lot of sense. It's a Texas company. It's a San Antonio-based company. And when I found out that AT&T was going to go away last year, my first inclination was, hell, HEB ought to just put their whole damn logo on the barn, which HEB is a huge sponsor of the Spurs anyway. One of the other quick businesses that came to mind was Frost. Frost Bank makes a lot of sense to slap their logo on the AT&T Center. And it turns out, indeed, it's going to be Frost. So thank you to the boys at Frost. Big Mr. Frost, the big El Jefe. He just announced yesterday he's retiring at the end of the year. So well done, Mr. Frost. And that family's been around for 180 years in this town. And that bank's one of the most respected banks in the country, but certainly in our state. And that's cool. They're going to put their name on the barn. So I was going to make another point about that today before we get out of here. AT&T inherited the AT&T Center from SBC, 10 years, 11, 12 years ago, whatever it was. Maybe, God, has it been longer? Maybe it was. AT&T bought SBC. And so, obviously, the naming rights to the AT&T Center, SBC Center, they inherited that when they bought out SBC. So AT&T put their logo on the barn. I'm not even sure if AT&T's officials and board and CEO ever really wanted to be the sponsor of the AT&T Center. I guess they were happy with it because the Spurs were kicking ass. But now as Timmy retired, Manu retired, and Tony retired, and Kawhi Leonard pulled all that bullshit. And I think it was more than that. AT&T decided to leave us and go up to the Metro 6. AT&T used to headquarter here in town. They decided to go up to Dallas. And it didn't surprise me when I found out, with the Spurs not doing well, that they had decided to let their membership, it was expiring. AT&T made the decision they told the Spurs, we're not going to renew. So the Spurs were like, well, shit, we got to find us a new sponsor. Well, making it Tim Duncan Arena, that'd be cool. Everybody would love that. You don't make them hundreds and hundreds of millies that you got to make in the NBA when it comes to selling out your building. So they couldn't just make it, Greg Popovich Stadium. They needed a corporate sponsor. And so they struck a deal with AT&T. Give us one more year, right? And it buys SSE, Spurs Sports and Entertainment, one more year to find a sponsor. And so AT&T, out of the goodness of their heart, decided to go ahead and stick with the main sponsorship of the building one more year, and it bought the Spurs some time. And alas, Frost Bank is stepping up. And you know who should get 20% commission? Tell you in a minute after we talk about the official mortgage man of our show. It is Brad Hardwick from hardwickmortgage.com. If you're thinking about upgrading and wondering how much you can afford, call to get pre-qualified. Home values have increased a ton over the years. Use equity in your home to pay off debt. Get needed cash in your pocket if you're in the market to buy a home. Hardwick Mortgage can shop across multiple lenders to get the best deal. If you're looking to purchase maybe a new or used manufactured house with land, maybe you just want to buy some acreage, it is Hardwick Mortgage. This information is presented for informational purposes. This is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Information and or dates are subject to change without notice. All loans are subject to credit approval. Other restrictions may apply. As a result of refinancing, your total finance charges may be higher over the life of the loan. Visit hardwickmortgage.com for information. Hardwick Financial Services, NMLS ID 1972012. All right. You know who should get 20% commission for the Frost Bank deal over at Spurs Sports and Entertainment? Victor Wembanyama should. That's who. I was talking earlier about, I had been thinking about leaving iHeart for a number of years, for a number of reasons. Some having to do with iHeart, but most having to do with me and what I wanted to do going forth with my old age. One of the problems I used to have over there, I think I can say this, I don't think I'll get in trouble, is, and this is one of the things about terrestrial radio, corporate radio, that I don't love. Talent not getting enough money. I sound like the Hollywood writers. I wasn't getting enough money for endorsements there for a while. Because what would happen was I had more people reaching out to me, hey, man, how do I become a sponsor of your show? I'm like, holy shit, that's great, man. I appreciate that. Cool. But I can't work with you. Let me turn you over to one of our sales account representatives. And then some sales account representative, many of which were not even living in this town, that I've never even met personally, would take that client and then show them how to become a sponsor and go through all the paperwork and the legal and all that. And then that sales account representative would get a huge chunk of that client's contribution. And that's what used to hack me off. Like if I bring a client in myself, they reach out to me. I probably should not just get the talent fee. I probably ought to get the freaking commission. Teach me how to be a salesperson. There's other radio stations in town where on-air talent are also salespeople. I tried to do that and they wouldn't let me some years ago. And that's fine, but it wasn't fine. Now, say some account representative, at a station, they bring the business in. Hey, LG, Frostbank wants to. I talked to the guys at Frostbank, and they want to endorse you. Cool. The sales representative, they're the ones that brought that. They brought that client in. That sales rep ought to get the commission. He brought that client in. But if LG is the one who brought the client in, why does he have to pass it off to somebody who never even made the phone call? Then that person just gets the benefit. That didn't seem right to me. That's a long way. I'm bitching about corporate radio. That's a long way of saying Victor Wembanyama ought to get 20% commission for the Frostbank deal. I doubt he made a call, but an anonymous source told the Express News yesterday that Victor Wembanyama becoming a Spur absolutely had a shit ton to do with Frost deciding, let's go ahead and put our name on this building. Because we're going to get on national TV a lot now. The Spurs are going to get good again. We got freaking Victor Wembanyama. Cool. Tell the Spurs we said yes. I'm not saying it's the only reason. I'm sure they've negotiated for months. But it was a hella important reason, and it was probably the final nail. They ought to give Wemby 20%. Frost is going to become the title sponsor of the arena, large in part to Victor Wembanyama joining the team. Again, the night that they won the lottery, I'm like, you can't even, how many millions of dollars did the Spurs just gain in value just by winning the freaking lottery to even have the right to draft Wemby? And like Saturday, Cuts by Jones, he's going to donate a Victor Wembanyama wood carving that he never would have done had we not drafted him to our little raffle. You just can't even measure Wembanyama's value to the Spurs and ultimately this city and the happiness of us all. So as we bid you adieu, shout out to Victor Wembanyama. I hope to meet you as soon as possible. Can't wait. Love you hard. Thank you, Thunderdome. Appreciate everybody. Whether you love me or hate me or you're in between, that's okay. I appreciate you watching. Thank you to DJ LG. Thank you to Ellie the Dogo. That's it. We're done. We'll see you boys in here mañana for Fart Drop Thursday. Later.
Come back, you puppy!
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you.
This is a Bronx-bound 6 local train. The next stop is